Well. This has been an exciting day on Facebook. I don't usually get involved in these long, continuous threads and debates because most of the time I'm on professional pages dealing with other instructors, dealing with people who are familiar in the legal system, and it may be a simple question and answer. And then we do some research and we find out the court cases. But boy, oh boy, this one has been a subject of debate for now a few hours. Obviously, I'm a little bit busy out and about, driving around, taking care of other errands, to sit on Facebook and continue adding hyperlinks to discuss this at length. And the penal code, young gentleman brought up the Texas Penal Code 9.42, and in my case studies in the past, this is one of these what we call dead laws, or outdated laws that may still be on the books but not enforced. Like in another state, it says every able-bodied male over the age of 18 is required to bring a shotgun to church on Sundays. Well, obviously that's not enforced, and it's this conversation has degraded to a point where one guy goes on my Facebook page and finds my mall glamour shot photo from high school with the filter. I guess he thinks that makes me a homosexual, and so attacks me. Even if I was homosexual, still, it's better to be homosexual than stupid. So we continue down this road, and let's say, for instance, that the law, as Texas states it, that you can shoot and kill someone to prevent them from escaping with your personal property, that was obviously valid in the 1800s when it was your horse and it was cattle rustling and it was your way of life, your livelihood. I mean, if you didn't have your horse, you might die because you're stranded in the desert, or if you don't have your cattle, then you don't make it through winter. However, in this day, modern age, the terms that people are missing: is it justifiable because it was reasonable and prudent and necessary? And when we talk about the reasonable man standard, and would you have done the same thing in their shoes? Would they have done the same thing in yours? Of course, that varies depending upon the state that you live in, the jury of your peers. If you shoot a home invader in California, everybody jokes about the snowflake state, and that, why'd you shoot him when he was in your house? Why didn't you offer him a place to stay, a hug? Maybe just give him some money and ask him to leave. When other people think, oh no, he's in your home, he deserves to die, because we have this twisted sense of morality and this criminal vigilante justice. And it's not justice, it's vengeance. People are talking about right now being pissed off at someone getting away with it, someone stealing your bike, your hard-earned property, the money. Everything that's property can be replaced. Human life, even though you may think the scumbag doesn't deserve to live, he's wasting your oxygen, or he's taking your oxygen from you, human life is precious. And what kind of twisted sense of morality do people have, or what kind of lack of ethics is this world coming to when people think that an eye for an eye, he did this, I'm going to do that, makes it better? So I'm a firearms instructor, and I have no hesitancy. I would have no hesitancy in taking life if it was absolutely necessary. As I teach in my classes, I've had guys at gunpoint. I've had guys threaten me. One guy had a knife, and pardon the cursing, said, "I'm gonna gut you, you fat fucking faggot." And me, not feeling real fear from him being, only 10 feet away with a knife, I said, "Sir, you're drunk, you're stupid, and I'm not gonna play into this game." Because maybe he's just wanting to commit suicide by just a security officer. People do commit suicide by police officer all the time. There was just an officer involved shooting here in Las Vegas on the 27th, where a guy with a machete was, wanting to die by law enforcement. So my moral obligation, my ethics, when the law enforcement shows up and this guy's in custody rather than dead, and they ask why I did not shoot when I had all the legal justification in the world. He showed ability, opportunity, and intent. I had him dead to rights. Why didn't I shoot? Why did I hesitate? Am I a coward? And I said, no. I don't want to face the fact of having to go through the court system, having to go through the delay, having my weapon seized. Even that's an inconvenience when it's my favorite gun. I don't want to go through that headache, that hassle, when it wasn't absolutely necessary. Simple as that. I don't think that guy needed to die because he was drunk and stupid or trying to show off to his friends. This status-seeking show, this monkey dance, okay? If you understand anything about threat assessment, target identification, I had to think about the background. There were innocent civilians in the background. And unlikely that I'd miss, because I do train far more than most people, I still had to think about those considerations. Where are my rounds going to go if they overpenetrate or they continue downrange? Everyone else is like, oh no, the guy had a knife, shoot him. It's not that simple. They call it practicing law because it's not black and white like in the books. Every single thing comes into determination at the end. Maybe an uneducated person might get a little more sympathy from the courts because, oh, he didn't know any better. He didn't know the law. He thought this, or he was in fear for his life because some instructor says all you got to do to get off is say, I was in fear for my life. We hear this bull crap when people shoot someone that they didn't intend to. They shoot and kill their loved one in their own home because they were scared of the dark, scared of the shadowy figure moving around. And most of the time, the sympathy plea, the jury goes, oh my God, I'm not going to send this guy to prison for killing his own wife on accident. No, that's not an accident, it's negligence. He didn't train, he didn't understand light discipline, movement, understand that clearing corners and buildings and structures is one of the most dangerous things, and even professionals don't want to do it alone. He went out hunting a human being with no idea how to do that. Most people walk around carrying guns thinking, I know how to shoot, I go to the range, I practice. Marksmanship is only 1% of the whole thing. Situational awareness, avoidance, those are the things that go into techniques. Proper application of those techniques at the right place and the right time gives you an advantage over the bad guy. Those are called tactics. So for all the keyboard warriors out there, all the people who are getting, self-righteous because they've understood what the law says, you've got to really dig deeper. Maybe you should talk to some lawyers, some of the attorney general. Call up the freaking attorney general. Show them this video as an example and say, how would you want to handle this case if this person, and let's say the gun owner in this video, it was a law-abiding citizen, no previous criminal history, nothing along those lines. Maybe the attorney general will be sympathetic and reduce it from negligent homicide, or reduce it from manslaughter or murder to negligent homicide. But again, that's like a plea bargain deal because that was a good guy. If this guy had anything in his past, assault, battery, domestic violence, well, obviously domestic violence, you can't own a gun, but maybe a lesser charge, an arrest, but not a conviction, then they're going to say, well, this guy, it seemed more like deliberate revenge. It wasn't absolutely necessary to kill someone for stealing a motorcycle. All right. I may not be able to get through to some of you because those who think they know the law will not be convinced otherwise. But those who know and practice the law and live by a higher set of standards, the law of the land that has been set forth by being passed by our legislation, being voted upon by the majority, not the minority, not the simple few who say, well, I would have killed him because he doesn't deserve to live because he's going to go off and maybe, rob someone else. Maybe he'll kill the next person. So I feel it's my duty to stop him before the next guy because I have the firearm, because I have the ability to do it right now. Again, ability doesn't have anything to do with justification. And to borrow from a very popular Hollywood quote, with great power comes great responsibility. Yes, you can end a life with a simple press of the trigger. One finger and you can end someone. Does that mean you should?